and then we'll start our walk to the common. Thank you.
for coming for the walk to support our law enforcement. There's just a few things I'd like to say. I want to start out with, in the words of author Brad Thor, we have an incredible warrior class in this country. People in law enforcement, intelligence. And I thank God every night we have them standing fast to protect us from the tremendous amount of evil that exists in the world. After looking for a quote to best describe tonight's event, I felt this was the most appropriate to use. The words, "and I thank God every night we have them standing fast to protect us," ring so true. The police answer the call no matter what. They run toward the danger that we run from. The thin blue line is a symbol used by law enforcement to commemorate fallen law enforcement officers and to symbolize the relationship of law enforcement in the communities as the protectors of fellow civilians from criminal elements. I am proud to show support, as I am sure all of you are, to the law enforcement that protect us every hour of every day. I want to make note that we do have a board, if you wish to, after the event tonight, to sign so we can hand over to our police department for their facilities. So you can show your support in that way as well. So with that said, it's my pleasure to turn this over to our police chief, Shane Woodson.
Good evening. Thanks to everybody for coming out tonight to support our walk for support. I'd like to thank Councilman McMahon for organizing the walk. I'd like to thank Town Councilor Clements for being involved and helping out with setting up. The rest of the councilors that are here tonight, Town Councilor Estrada, Town Councilor Wally, McKenzie, Town Council Chairman, of course, Esteban Carrasco. Also like to thank the Town Manager, Ron San Angelo, for supporting the idea. And every single member of the council that supports us year after year. I'm not here today to talk negative about the media and the current political environment against police or anything like that. That's covered every day. What I'd rather talk about today when we're all here together is about relationships with the community. Sir Robert Peel, I'm not big for quoting, but he's often referred to as the father of modern policing. He started the first police department in London, the Metropolitan Police Department, in 1829. And he had said, and I'm quoting, "The police are the public, and the public are the police. The police being only members of the public who are paid to give full-time attention to duties which are incumbent on every citizen in the interest of community welfare and existence." That statement was made more than 200 years ago, and it's still applicable today. And what it's saying is that it's not just our job, but it's the responsibility of everybody to keep the law and maintain our homes, maintain our communities, and keep peace. When I started in law enforcement more than 20 years ago, I thought I wanted to do real police work and come out and write tickets and make arrests and lock up bad guys. Once I got out of the academy and I started working in the field, I started talking to veteran police officers like Jesus Rosa, who's retired now. But there's one thing that guy knew about police work, and it was relationships. And he never actually had to say it to me about relationships with the community, but I learned it from him and a lot of other veteran police officers, several of them who are here today to help out with the color guard. I can remember being a kid, just an example about relationships, and I'd answer the phone on the midnight desk, and somebody would ask, "Is Rosa working?" And I'd say, "Well, no, he's a 30-year veteran of the police department. He's not stuck on midnights anymore like me, but I'm the new guy, and we'll send someone to help you." And they always say, no, we'll just wait until Rosa comes back to work the next day. To that person that I talked to on that night, Officer Rosa was their police officer. He had that relationship with them. He formed that relationship over time. They trusted him. And it took me a couple of years before I learned that lesson. And I look back now, and I changed how I policed, how I was a police officer because of people like Officer Rosa. Because as the chief of the department now, I'd like to say, I think I can say this proudly and sincerely, that all of our police officers form relationships with the citizens in this community. Every single day they work, they're forming relationships. It's a constant, fluid, dynamic process. It's also important, I think, with respect to all the law enforcement officers out there, to talk about brand. And I read a commencement speech, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and I remembered it for today, and it just seems applicable to what's going on in the world, about brand. And I wish I could take credit for it, but I'm not that smart. I stole it from somebody from Tennessee University. Every day a police officer works, they're building their personal brand. They're professional, and their personal brand. Every day they have the opportunity to build their brand up or tear it down. With every person they interact with, whether it's good or bad, you're establishing that brand. Every person they meet will at least tell at least 5 other people about that interaction with that particular police officer. So by the end of their shift, their reputation in the community, especially a small, close-knit community like ours, could be spread to dozens and dozens of people, either positively or negatively. Some of these impressions will follow their entire life, their entire career, like Officer Rose's. Everybody knew he was what it was to be a professional police officer. With that being said, sometimes you're gonna mess up, we all make mistakes. When that happens, we gotta learn from them and you don't make the same mistakes twice. Thanks to programs like our Cops and Kids, our brand is stronger than ever in this community and it improves every single day. You know, in fact, just this weekend we had an example of relationships and brand. I promised the deputy I'd keep this under 3 minutes. With the citizens we serve. We had a serious incident over the weekend, but because of our relationship, because of our brand in this community, 2 of our detectives, Rob Salisbury and Jason Monadias, 2 of our police officers, Aaron Tetlow and Eric McNeely, were able to go to that neighborhood where the incident happened. They were able to speak with some of the people that were involved, and in my opinion, they were able to calm that situation. Now, they weren't able to talk with them open and honestly because of our relationship and our brand with the members of that neighborhood that we were able to build over time. And I'm proud to say, and you know, I've been around a while now, and I know it firsthand, that every day our police officers build relationships within our department, in our community. They always keep in mind what they do not only reflects on them and their personal brand, but their family, this police department, this community, and our law enforcement profession as a whole. So I say this often, and people are probably sick of hearing me say it, but this isn't my department. It certainly isn't. I'm the chief. I'm fortunate to be in that position. But it's your department. We work for you, and every one of us is a part of the community that we serve. So thank you for allowing us to serve you. Now, if I could, hopefully the town manager's speech is longer than mine, but the town manager, Ron Sanangelo.
You know, I think it's a warm evening, and I don't think you guys want to hear a long speech. First of all, I want to start off by thanking each of you. Today is a beautiful summer night, and you guys could be in a lot of other places. But you're here tonight because you want to show your support for our police department. So, first of all, how about a round of applause for all the people that are out here tonight? Now, I've had the opportunity to be a mayor and a state representative and a town administrator and now a town manager. And over the last 25 years, I've been able to work with all different types of police officers, state police, local police, chiefs, variety of different people. And what I've learned in all that time is that the men and women who serve our communities in law enforcement do it for one major reason. They want to make a difference in their community. That's what it's all about. Let me tell you, I don't know how much it's worth to get shot at, but to worry about when you go to a car to give a ticket, worrying about the potential of somebody harming you. Frankly, I don't think you could pay me enough to do that. You have to have your heart in the job. You have to care about your community and your fellow citizens. That's what we have in the police department right here in Southbridge. People who care about you. Now, one of the nice things that I've learned since coming here and having the opportunity to be in some way in charge of 3 different departments is that this department looks more like the community than any other department that I've had an opportunity to supervise. It's people of all different nationalities who talk to each other in a personal way, not against each other. And frankly, I think that's what we're all seeing nationwide when we turn on our televisions. People looking past each other, not communicating, not coming together, and that's what we need to do here in Southbridge. We need to come together as a community to support our law enforcement officers, but to support each other in celebrating our differences. I want to say that again. We need to celebrate our differences, not focus on what they are, but we need to work together to make this a beautiful, wonderful community. So I want to thank our town council for always being there to support our police department. I want to thank the chief for all his efforts, even if you've recently seen the latest program that we're doing here in town to help people that have drug problems. Not to just send them to jail automatically, but to try to get involved to help make a difference in their lives as well. So it really is about community building, about helping each other. It's not about just imprisoning people. It's a different culture here in Southbridge, and we should be proud of the men and women that are serving us in so many ways. Another brief issue to show the example of how we work with our community is one of the things that I recently had a chance to experience firsthand. That's the Cops and Kids program. What better way to send a message to our community than with officers like Jose and the other gentlemen and women who serve in that Cops and Kids program to find positive activities for our children to do. It's a great program, and it's voluntary. Officers don't have to do it. They do it again to make a difference. So with your support, we appreciate it. Again, a round of applause for all of our law enforcement officers.
If I could, our next person who's kind enough to come down tonight and share some words with us, State Rep Peter Durant. Oh, he's coming from the beach, so he's dedicated.
Well, thank you, Chief. Thank you very much, Chief. I want to say thank you to everybody who's come out tonight, and especially to these gentlemen here who are dressed in wool, who marched, and you know that's why I put on shorts today. Anyway, but I just want to say, look, I think I want to echo some of the sentiments that the Chief said and that the town manager said as well. It is about community policing, and I think this isn't an evening about negativity, but I think it is important to remember that we're living right now in a time that seems to be unprecedented. It's a time when society is in some ways breaking down, and that we're seeing not just a breakdown in the family, but in society, and it's manifesting itself as animosity and as violence against those in law enforcement, and that's what we're here tonight for. We're here tonight to stand up for law enforcement in similar way that they stand up for us, and all the work that they do for us, and the ways that they protect us and keep us safe in our homes and in our property. It's important that we're here to show them that support and that respect. The town manager mentioned that this is a job where you go to that you have to carry a weapon. You have to be able to defend yourself, and you have to be able to defend those people that are counting on you. And so, I think that what's amazing about this community and amazing about this department is the fact that it's community policing. That they're here among us, they're here talking with folks every day, they're getting to know people. I like what you said, Chief, about being a brand, your personal brand. And every one of these officers here have embraced that, and they have come forward and said, hey, this is my brand and this is my community. And we're going to support this community and we're going to work hard for it. So I think that it's important that we're here tonight. It's important that we're showing support to our law enforcement officials and thank them for all that they've done and for all that they're going to continue to do. So God bless you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, State Rep. State Rep Durant does a lot for this community. We appreciate it in all seriousness. Next, I'd just like to ask Assistant District Attorney Don Dunoff from the Worcester County DA's office, who was kind enough to take some time to say a few words.
Thank you very much. And just very briefly, I work with District Attorney Joe Early. We work with the Southbridge Police every day. In fact, all the prosecutors from our Dudley District Court office are here, and they're here in about 2 hours' notice because I was late telling them about the event. And they're here because they want to be here. And they want to be here because they know the quality of the community and the quality of the officers that serve the community. When you speak at this point, realize people are tired, they're hot, and most people have said everything before. And certainly what the representative said in particular, community policing, couldn't be more appropriate. Some places it's a slogan, it's on a cruiser. Here it's a practice. It's a practice by each officer, it's a practice by the community, and you're a great example of it. DA wanted me to be here and wanted us to be here to say thank you to the community and to the officers and for the work they do every day. We recognize it, we appreciate it, and we know you do too. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, ADAs and the rest of the crew from the Dudley District Court. They're second to none. I can tell you that I've worked with them all for many, many years. Next, Deputy Sheriff Nick Barbara from the Worcester County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Evangelitis.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Good evening, folks. I'm here representing the Sheriff's Office and Sheriff Lou Evangelitis, and I just want to say this is a great event and a nice outturning. And from a corrections point of view, I just want to say in the past 6 years, the Sheriff has worked really, really hard to raise the level of professionalism at the jail. We have 1,200 inmates, and what you have to keep in mind, we all have to keep in mind, is that these men are going to come back to the community. Most of the sentences are 2 years or less. So what we've tried to do is, to make the community safer, is we've really ramped up the programs at the jail. We ensure that these inmates are drug-free while they're there. They have access to drug counseling. They have access to GED education. And for the first time, Worcester County has an after-incarceration services, which is if an ex-offender is out in the community and he's struggling, if he needs help with housing, if he wants to meet us halfway, we'll meet him. We're not there to coddle anybody, but we're there to help them and to keep them out of jail. And we have reduced recidivism. Thank you.
I know everybody's warm, especially the guys in the front. Thank you again to the 4 gentlemen up front. We're in the Class A uniforms today. Last but not least, Father Peter Joyce.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you all for being here as well. Our thanks to the fine department that we have here. Chief, as you said, you really do work on building relationship, and that's a very important part of our community. It doesn't seem so long that we were here remembering and grieving the loss of an officer from a neighboring community, and our own community's participation in that. We couldn't have imagined that night that we would be here again because our own police in different parts of our country have been targeted. And what grips so many people is that sense of fear. And yet here we have, beyond our fear, we have a certain comfort and a courage, because we know, as we have heard, these men and women go to danger when the rest of us are in danger, and it relieves our sense of fear and gives us hope and courage. And we are grateful for the work that they do, and to recognize that the relationship is important. There are brothers and sisters, our sons and daughters, our mothers and fathers, our aunts and uncles. They are our friends. They are the members of our community. And so as we are grateful for the work that they do, we ask in turn that God would bless them. So let us pray. For the Lord has promised that when 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, he is there in the midst of them. And so, Lord, we know that you are here. And with humbleness and confidence, we beg you to come not only to our gathering, but come here and touch our community. Touch in a particular way the men and women of the Southbridge Police Department. Keep them safe in whatever task life and their work might take them to. As they kiss their families goodbye, keep them safe that they might return to welcome them with the same kiss home. Help them to be able to do the job that they need in the split-second necessity to choose with wisdom and with courage for the safety of all people and the common good of our community. Bless not only our own community, but every community and police force throughout our country, that it feels itself under attack. This desire to create a lawlessness and chaos in our modern time that will move people to react out of fear and suspicion and insecurity. Help us to be secure in you, in the courage that you give us, and in the confidence of those who protect and serve, that they defend our freedom, our way of life, and our very life every day. Keep them safe, for we ask this in your name, who is Lord forever and ever. Amen. This time I've been asked that if you would release your balloon, we want to ask that you would wish that as a prayer of safety for men and women as we lift them to the heavens. Let us join in the prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains, through the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America,
just thank you again for everybody that came, all the citizens. Thank you to the auxiliaries in the back row that volunteer hundreds of hours a year to this department. So thank you to everybody that came. This concludes the ceremony.